Alyssa with Kuliadove. Happy New Year, first of all. And today's topic is going to be graphic design pointers for 2026. Now, let me kind of preface this with why I wanted to make a topic like this. In the past, I have made some design interviews on my channel called Designer Discussions. And towards the end, I always ask, what kind of advice would you give to aspiring designers? And I was thinking recently, well, what would I respond to that? So I done some thinking and jotted down some bullet points. And that's what this presentation is all about. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 1, white space. White space is going to set you apart from being a novice designer to being an expert in the field. And I'm going to explain that in the next slides. Okay, YouTube, don't flag me here because their parts are covered. What this is a depiction of the Greek mythology story of Icarus, a painting by Peter Paul Rubens. Now, the story goes, Daedalus and Icarus were imprisoned on an island called Crete, and Daedalus wanted to escape. Daedalus was a renowned inventor. So he invented, in this story, wax wings supported to a support frame where they'd fly off the island. Yes, flying people. They literally look like falling angels in the image. So now Daedalus instructed Icarus, his son, not to fly too close to the sun because those wax wings will melt and he will die. But Icarus disobeyed that warning. And what you see in the image is the result of that story. And the tragic part of it is Daedalus can only watch helplessly as Icarus fell to his death. Now, what does this have to do with graphic design? Well, I'll explain that in the next slide. This is the quote I want you to take away from this. White space is the old Icarus story. Too little white space, your wings melt. Too much, you won't go far. So if you have too little white space, your design is going to be too cramped looking and uncomfortable to read. But if you have too much white space, what I mean by you won't get too far is your design is going to be kind of scattered and it won't look like the design is unified at all. This is the point I want to drive home. White space is a balancing act, and you as the designer need to walk that fine line of having the right amount of white space for your project. Now you can say to me day and night that, oh, well, the client is asking for more of text on this page. But that's where you can push back because you are the design consultant. Now, I kind of had this kind of experience with white space when I was making a logo for a previous client. And I made the point on my accord to make a little video demonstrating that, maybe this amount of white space on this logo is not going to translate well to a small size. And we went from there. So if you have knowledge, then share it. Chances are, maybe the client didn't think about that before you pointed it out to them. And on the right, this is an ad that I walked that fine line when I was doing an ad. So we can see here that the text is kind of flowing from my head to my hand, and that's called text wrapping. And that's a useful little technique you can use when you have kind of blocks of text like this and you want it to look appealing next to a graphic like this. So that's what I want to explain, that if you don't know how to manipulate white space, then you're still in novice mode and you need to freshen up on that concept. And I've included a link to another video by Will Patterson that kind of explains this pretty well, how the design principles, like white space, are going to create harmony in a design. So that will be on the top. That's how YouTube works, that you can click into after you finish this video. Point number 2, learn how to work from a design brief. The first time I heard about a design brief was watching a video from Satori Graphics. I didn't know what he was talking about. So I did a little digging, and the next slide is going to show you what that really means. A design brief is like a compass that's going to tell you what you need to do for your design to work best for your client. And you can ask questions like these to help you gain a better perspective on your design decisions going forward. It's not the contract. That's an agreement on the work you're going to do. A design brief is your compass. Remember that. And I've made a template that you can work from as a starting point that you can edit as you see fit with your own clients. This is going to be a game changer when you take on clients, for sure. Number 3, industry standard might as well be Portuguese. Ouch. Some of you are not going to like this, and I'm going to ruffle some Adobe feathers, but so be it. The client is not going to really care, regardless of what design tools you are going to use. If you say something loud enough and long enough, it becomes propaganda. And that is why I believe that Adobe has accomplished by getting that industry standard moniker. This does the same for you as these. It's apples to apples when it comes to a client. They're just there to have a design problem solved, and you're the expert that can solve it for them. The tools are just the means to the end. Okay, guys? That's the point I'm trying to make here. Adobe is just a tool. Just like all of these. You can make it work without paying an Adobe subscription. An Adobe subscription doesn't make a designer. It makes you a customer of Adobe. If you want encouragement to be a designer in 2026, here's your encouragement. These are some quotes I wanted to highlight from my designer discussions with Cage Castro and Will Shea. And the overlap here is effort and learning. So if you want to be a good designer in 2026, have a learning mindset. More encouragement for 2026. Your best designs are the ones you worked tooth and nail for. Doesn't matter if they were exported from Adobe Illustrator. Your best designs are the ones that you never said quit to. And that's why my slogan is design with diligence. You can see it on my shirt. That's something I live by. Going at number 4, variable fonts. I get excited about talking about variable fonts, so that's why I decided to include it in this presentation. I actually have a video on my YouTube channel that talks about variable fonts, And I suggest that you watch that video after this presentation. In layman's terms, though, variable fonts are fonts with different character sets, like glyphs is the term. So there's a lot of opportunities that you can have with variable fonts. So check out that video when you got the chance. I appreciate the view. Last but not least, number 5, journal, journal, journal. Those ideas are useless in your head. It's only natural for a graphic designer to have ideas, right? And you're going to have those ideas sporadically at weird times. So you're going to want to prepare for those sporadic bursts of creativity by carrying around a sketchbook or a notebook. Something you can write on. When you're passing by that dog grooming shop that has a weird logo and you just have that itch to redesign it, be carrying around something that you can write on so that when you're at your computer later on, boom, we have something to start from. And that's my presentation, Designer Pointers for 2026. If you like the video, there are all my social links you can support me by following me on my socials. And if you're not a designer and you enjoyed the content anyway, first of all, thank you so much. And if you have a design need after watching this video, well, you can contact me from my booking link that's on this slide. This has been Alyssa with Kuliadove, and to all my designer friends, design with diligence.